Sublime magnificence.
Hey guys, you know who it is, what's going on, when it's happening, where it's at, and why we're here today. How you doing? It is I, the sublimely magnificent Big Ugly himself, Omari Ellis Feo Grande on YouTube, back with another episode of This Guy Hasn't Seen, and as usual, I am joined by my co-host and friend, one of my best friends in the world, El Director himself, Bill Smith.
Hello, Omari. Hello, Omarikins. Thank you for having me back. As always, it's one of my favorite things to do. Folks, get yourself a movie club. It's like a book club, but it's movies. Exchange one back and forth. Try and focus on ones that you haven't seen. It's really fun. I think it would be really fun to do it with somebody who was like older or younger. I guess if you're an older person watching this, like I couldn't imagine. I think like we are the exact same age, so it's hard to find sometimes. We get lucky that I've seen a lot and Omari hasn't really watched a lot. But I think a generational gap would be really interesting and finding out what this is. And you don't even have to do what we're doing here. I mean, a talk over a cup of coffee or even watching it together and just having a movie night with some popcorn or some dinner. I think what a cool thing to do.
The movie club idea, I wholeheartedly agree with. And yeah, that's right. So this show, we do just what he said. We trade movies back and forth, generally one that one guy has seen and the other hasn't. And this week, it's a movie I haven't seen because Bill seems to have brought me a movie. What was that movie again, Bill?
Well, this movie is one that I chose because, when all else fails, Omari loves movies that Billy loved when he was 12. Or like not Omari loves these movies, but like the movies that Billy loved when he was 12 are great for talking about on this. So let's go with one of my favorite movies when I was a kid. I've discussed before that I was really into martial arts movies, and I would search out basically anything that looked like it was a martial arts movie in the action adventure section of the dollar rental movies at my local Schnucks grocery store. Um, and so this week's movie is one of those films. It's Best of the Best from 1989. A team from the United States is going to compete against Korea in a Taekwondo tournament. The team consists of fighters from all over the country. Can they overcome their rivalry and work together to win? It is directed by Robert Radler. It is written by one of the stars, Philip Ree, and also Paul Levine and Max Strom. And it stars Eric Roberts, James Earl Jones, Sally Kirkland, and Philip Ree. I chose this movie because of the things I just told you, and because this movie is a seminal movie of my childhood. I rented it more times than I could count. I was Taekwondo when I was a kid from like 5. Like my parents divorced and my mom was really worried about my male role modelship for a minute, and so was putting me in anything: baseball, Boy Scouts, karate.
I had a similar thing. I just never stuck with anything.
Karate is the one that really stuck with me, and I did it all the way up until I was 17. Um, really phased out at 16 after I got my black belt, and then slowly kind of phased out. And also the place got new ownership. It moved locations. So it's not something that's been around for a long time. But when I was a kid, man, it was my life. And so a Taekwondo tournament, are you kidding me? And then something I realized in this watching, because it has been quite a while since I watched it, which also strong effect on me, and we might talk about at some point here. Um, or I think maybe a strong impact or imprint on the person that is Bill. Um, Lots of big men doing big manly things, but also very easily showing their emotions. And I have been known to be an emotional person at times in my life. Um,
Same.
and so I'm just curious if that ended up being a prick on my DNA. That's how much this movie was a part of me that I'm now questioning that. So that all in all is why this movie and why I bring it to you today.
Okay.
What were you anticipating?
Well, yeah, I didn't even know this movie existed. If you were to mention the words martial arts and best, I would just go, "You're the best around." That's about as much as I do. You mentioned that it was martial arts while also contemplating like a Van Damme suggestion, like for something else in that catalog.
Uh-huh.
So I knew martial arts. Well, I don't know martial arts. Again, like you said, I had a similar upbringing to you with the early parent divorce and the mother being like, you need a male role model in your life, as well as other things. So, hey, here's a sports. You want to try a sport? Basketball, da da da. Boy Scouts. I just stuck with none of them.
And to be fair on record, on my side of things at least, I don't want to speak for you, but to just be on record, I don't remember a time where my father wasn't trying to actively be involved. Like there was like a mutual custody thing for me. So there but I just didn't want that on my end to be construed
Fair.
on my father's side poorly.
Fair.
It was just a reaction from my mother in her household,
No, that makes sense.
you know.
Yeah, that and we differ in that regards. Like my father's involvement came later in my life because of reasons I won't get into here.
Yeah.
But childhood wise, there wasn't that many. Well, I had male role models, but you know what I mean. The concern was still there about a consistent father figure type
Right.
deal. But that, and so I thought that was funny when you mentioned that. I'm like, yeah, I had a similar thing. I can remember that. But this movie, all I had was, especially since I tried not to read synopses, all I had was martial arts. That's what this is. Maybe Jean Claude. Oh, he don't look like he's on this picture for this movie. So I guess it's something else involving martial arts. Someone's gonna probably. I was expecting it to be, if anything, I expected it to be more like Bloodsport, where it's a one-on-one tournament type deal,
Hmm.
as opposed to the 5v5 that we had. So
Yeah.
that was a nice little twist on the formula. But yeah,
Hmm.
I play fighting games, and yes, while a lot of their lores can be, if you really want to study them, can be very confusing and weird and long. At the same time,
Check out a semi recent episode of that other show.
oh yeah, I guess I didn't
Link
mention
right
that
here.
one where it talks about like Mortal Kombat. At the end of the day, though, as crazy as Mortal Kombat story goes, or Soul Calibur, or Street Fighter, or any of those, at the end of the day, the through line of each game's story is there's a tournament and people are fighting in it. They got different fighting styles. The convoluted thing is how do all of these people come to the same tournament? And that's where it gets convoluted.
Hmm.
But yeah, so with fighting games being as big a part of my personality as they are, especially post college and onward, if you
Yeah.
couldn't tell from the shit on the screen, uh, I always enjoy these kind of movies, these kind of arcs and things with the tournaments thing. That's just been a resident with me growing up. So I was expecting to be entertained. And
Yeah.
to go right into the initial reactions, the first beginning starts with like people in Korea training. Like, so definitely martial arts. Then you start hearing the guitar, and I'm like, And there's that 80s ass intro where it's just a fucking car factory doing shit while they're just playing the fucking. I'm like, yes. We see our main character, Alex Grady.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alex Grady. He
Played by Eric Roberts, Julia Roberts' brother. I believe father of Emma Roberts.
I don't know him, but fair enough.
She was the lead of her own either Nickelodeon show or Disney Channel show a long time ago, and now she's doing
other shit
stuff. My wife watched a show on Fox called Scream Queens that she was on. Yeah, that's literally the most recent thing I can think of.
Okay. Nice.
Anyway,
that's
acting
cool
family.
That's a cool bit of trivia, though. I did not realize that was even a thing. But yeah, he's in there. We see the other guy. You said Philip Z. He plays Tommy, not Philip Z.
Yeah, Philip Ree.
Philip Ree.
Yeah, and I just learned for the first time pulling up the IMDb in prep for this episode that he also wrote this film.
Yeah,
so that makes sense because
that now as well.
It's quietly a vehicle for him.
Yeah.
It's quietly going to be his movie, masquerading as Eric Roberts' movie.
You do think that it's just Eric Roberts' movie, like, and that's the supporting role. But then when they get to, like, just skip it around for a second, when they get to the revealing who everybody's fighting, and he's like, you, Tommy, you get this dude. Motherfucker with the Undertaker bell every time he's on the goddamn screen. Mother eye patch Sagat looking ass.
I was looking it up online earlier. I can't find an earlier documented version of a Superman punch. He does a super punch in this film. I can't find an earlier documented version of it. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Wikipedia does not cite this film as a reference of a super punch. However, all of its references are way more recent than 1989. People may just be sleeping. This is a very unknown movie. We're doing really niche shit here, and I think we may have found the first documentation of what will become a Roman Reigns finisher, a very popular move in like comic book movies and
book movies, and because Roman Reigns has it. I think Orange Cassidy and AEW has the Orange Punch, which is similar.
Dahan and Best of the Best, 1989.
Dahan was pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie.
He is. I just had him. Simon Ree.
Okay.
Brother of the main of Tommy. They are IRL brothers.
Okay, that helps explain why they decided on the ending they did a little bit more too. Realizing that. Yeah. So. Early on, they're getting their little invitations, and we see Eric Roberts at home with the lady, and she's like, oh, but your shoulder. Jeez, Mom, I'm gonna do so. I'm like, wait, that's his mom? I thought either she was too young looking, like she was young looking enough to be like a wife to him, or he was too old looking to be her son. One of the two. It just didn't click with me. I'm like, that's his mom? And then he came out with, later when he brought out the picture of his kid and started talking about his ex-wife, I literally was like, okay, how old is this dude supposed to be? I was just confused. I'm like, how old or young is this dude supposed to be? Because he's the veteran fighter on the team who had the injury and been gone from the game for years, but he needs that one
I would
shot
expect him to be like our age. Like mid-30s.
I think that's the best.
Late 30s. That's usually when an athlete is described as like a is like an old man. Yeah,
Old
in the
man,
sport.
the veteran of the team and all of that stuff. Retired for years, had to come back after his old bum elbow or shoulder. Yeah, I can give you that. I thought it was funny though. She's like, "You want to go to this tournament, but what about your son?" And dude just goes, "What about my son?" I'm like, "Damn."
Yeah, I clocked that line too.
I was like,
What
dude.
about my son?
But he had the touching scene after and everything where he does ask the son, like, "Cool with me going? I try and bring you back a medal, all that shit." And that's cool, but still, just the initial, "What about my son?" Like,
I mean,
not
yeah,
expecting that out of a main character.
it is a parental question. Do you surrender everything that is yourself because you are now a father, or are you allowed to live your life to an extent? He can be here. You can watch him. You already do when I work. Let's be real. I'll call him.
Yeah. And
In 3 years, he won't even remember these 3 months happened.
exactly. Yeah. What is it?
No one be a dick. This is coming from a guy who doesn't have kids.
I mean, same. But they cut to like the Koreans picking their team. You can't really tell because they don't really provide subtitles. But people are applauding and stuff, and it just made me wonder. Kind of like I wondered when it came to like all the cultures agreeing on when it comes to the digit versions of numbers. Everyone knows what number that represents, despite all having different words or different original symbols for it. Like who? So, and it makes me wonder who started the applause, like the crowd of applause for applause occasions. What culture is to blame for starting this? Not saying I have a problem with it, but it was a realization I came to in the movie that everywhere people understand someone do something good, you do this with your hands. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. But then I got real happy because my dude, Jaffe Joe Fur himself, James Earl Jones, showed up on the screen. I was like, yeah, James Earl Jones in the movie. Awesome. And, you know, we get into our character intros, and much like I said about American Man in Bloodsport, you see, I initially typed Renegade guy, but he's Travis. But the first second you see him in his fucking red gi, looking at the main character the way he does, I'm like, I already know what this guy is, character-wise.
Yeah. This is the age of film where your like surrounding set of characters can their entire character can be a single word. Italian, Buddhist, racist.
Not wrong.
Done.
And that's what Sonny says when he meets them. He's like, "I'm Sonny, I'm Italian. And that's what I'm gonna be. The rest of the movie, I'm gonna be about being
several
Italian
times
from
it's like,
Detroit.
hey, I'm Italian.
I'm Italian from Detroit. This place is like Detroit.
Hey, come on, I'm Italian.
Yeah, what do you want?
But I'm Italian.
What do you want? Ain't that what it is? I'm Italian. Yeah, then you had the who I thought was going to be the nerd, but he was the Buddhist thing is where they went with him. That was Virgil.
Which he is the nerd archetype. He's just doing Buddhist things instead of like being on his calculator.
The reason I said that is because the statistician dude for the team, which I mean he's the statistician, but he was the guy that was like, yeah, you really want to look at the so.
Right.
So that's why I assign nerd more to him. That's why I was like, yes, Virgil is about the closest the fighters are gonna get to a nerd. But
yeah,
that other
for
guy
sure.
exists. And I thought, and they even did the thing where you had the scene early on where they're getting ready to go out. After they're all picked for the team, I love James Earl Jones and his voice. If we want to talk a standout moment, his little intro speech as a coach.
Team is not a team unless you give a damn about one another. That line is like, fast forward a year from now when we're doing award show number 2, you better believe standout moment in Bill's list is going to be a team isn't a team unless you give a damn about one another.
Yeah, I envy that man and his voice so fucking much. It's so fucking perfect. I'm gonna love that guy. James Earl Jones,
my God.
fucking legend.
Tommy! Like, just the way, anytime he has to yell in this film, oh my God.
He just has so much power and authority.
He brings legitimacy to this film.
I agree.
If he's not in this and it's just some dude is the coach, some other actor of that time that's 60, 70, or he's not even 67, 50, 60, I don't know if it's this film.
I agree.
Maybe, like if it's like a Sean Connery or something, but I don't know. You know, James Earl Jones makes this film rewatchable.
So I was just trying to picture Sean Connery now in the role.
I feel like that's the best possible recasting. I pulled the best name possible.
Sean Connery's an amazing actor, but he's also in 90% of the things he does, he plays Sean Connery, and
yeah.
And
a team is not a team. A team is not a team unless you give a damn about one another.
Like when he played the Egyptian with the Spanish name, it still sounded like
Ramirez!
Sean Connery.
Ramirez! His name is Ramirez!
Ramirez. Yeah. But yeah, when they had the little... What is it? Oh, they're like, okay, we're on a team. You guys can go. We had one of my first stand-up was the tryout montage. Everybody, you meet them, you see people fighting. That's cool. And you know they get all picked from that by James
tournament
Earl Jones.
Picked, and then then they're like, all right, last night of freedom, and so then we have the bar scene. I would guess.
And the lead into that, I thought they were gonna go there. This is another reason why I kind of took the nerd thing away from Virgil, is because they made it seem like they're definitely harping on the nerd thing with Travis's scene. You want to come? I'm talking in and out of labia here. Oh, you just go meditate and leave. And he's like, wait, inner and outer labia? I'm like, oh, they're going to make my man Virgil, like, pathetic as shit. I'm going to hate this, because I'm the kind of guy that doesn't like watching Big Bang Theory, because sometimes when people go too far on the nerdy archetypes, I don't want to see it.
Yeah, for sure.
I thought that's what they were gonna do, but then he gets there and he was the first one to kill somebody. I'm like, oh damn, the game on Virgil. He accidentally spills coffee on this woman's heads, and he just turns it into a dance on the dance floor just pretty quickly. And he's just like, oh okay, and even main character Grady's like, he spilled hot coffee on her hands and she dances with him. I'm like, all right, man. You know what, Virgil? That Shaq meme. I apologize. I was unfamiliar with your game. And then Travis starts doing Travis things as well. And he kissed and starts making. And I was like, damn.
You know who
Travis.
The guy playing pool is? Jason Voorhees.
I did not know that.
That's the guy who plays Jason.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, he like pisses off a guy playing pool by straight up making out and grabbing the dude's girlfriend's ass on the floor. I was like, damn, Travis, you
Getting deep.
getting deep in there. And so,
Firm grip.
and then looking at the man too, like, what you gonna do about it?
Trying to start some shit.
And then the girl looks at him like, what you gonna do about it? And purposely kisses him, so we get the bar fight. And everybody just starts fighting. James Earl Jones, I thought James Earl Jones was gonna like chastise them early on and tell them to stop, but instead he does the cool thing and just watches. Like,
they need this as a team.
Yeah,
a team isn't a team unless you bar fight together.
They had the gag of Grady trying to talk to his wife or to his son and mom on the phone casually, like, yeah, so put him on the phone. And it's not until someone falls into the wall, he's like, okay, I gotta go. But no, that was cool. Bar fight was cool, and there was you see them eating, and then Travis starts doing his racist stuff, and I was like, I wish Travis wasn't so racist, because up to that point, I'm like, he's an asshole, but he's a lovable asshole. But then he started going like extra racist. I'm like, I can't call him the lovable asshole anymore. But at the same time, 80s movies tropes, and knowing that Philip rewrote it now, he was like, and then he was also like, Philip Reed's character Tommy was he was clearly offended by the racism, but the way he handled it, he like blew a lot of it off, and even like tried to casually turn things about him. He's like, "You want to fight? What are you, yellow?" Obviously, now yes, racist turn to call him yellow, but I'm just quoting the movie here, and then everyone just turned around.
In that moment, he was using the word for scared.
Yeah.
And because he's a blatant racist all the time, our Tommy turns it back on him and gets the entire team and the coaching staff like even James Earl Jones is up there eating his lunch like ho 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 ho, like full belly laughing.
He was like, "Damn, got him." Yeah, if that was written today, somebody would have said, "Got him," because it was one of those things. It was like, yeah, and Travis had to shut up because he's like, I can't say nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah,
he cools it down a little bit from that point forward, but he really doesn't turn until the very fucking end of the movie.
Oh no,
when they're getting on the plane.
Yeah, I wasn't saying he stopped being racist for the movie.
Oh no, yeah, I'm just saying.
But yeah, like he cools it down a bit, and then the end, he's like, okay, I'm done being racist. Right before the final. Be cool with you.
Yeah.
But then they introduce the opponents and stuff, and that's cool. They're like, "You're fighting this guy. You're fighting this guy."
All of the South Korean footage is fucking awesome. Like, I want that movie. I want the South Korea version. Yeah, because like they're doing long distance running in snow. They're like ridge hand chopping. Fucking trees in the snow, like it's almost everything they do is filmed in slow motion.
Yeah, and what is it? And like I said, fucking Daehan, they had numerous shots of the movie that just ended on him with his eye patch and a fucking Undertaker bell going off in the background. Just like, the first time I heard it, I was like, "Is that an Undertaker bell? Nah, this is before the Undertaker." So. Then I see it here and say, okay, it's not exactly the Undertaker bell, but that's an Undertaker bell. This is that dude that you gotta watch out for. Wrestling.
Plus, he has an eye patch, so
he has an eye patch, like Sagat, the boss from the original Street Fighter. So yeah, he's just eye patch man with an Undertaker bell. And then you can see before I go too much further, Wade gets introduced. She was an interesting character. Like, the way she was, like, calm tone, everything, even in the face of people being sexist to her and stuff. Like, I don't want no woman on my team, and do. She's just like...
Right. Yeah, she's clearly of a meditative and, if not practicing Buddhist, like, clearly some of those philosophies of a...
Yeah, and she came to them like, "You guys are training for 3 months to fight a team that's been doing this their entire lives. You're not gonna win just by training how to fight. You gotta know how they think, and or how the culture, how their fighting culture is based.
Right.
You gotta understand them from that side. So I'm here to help you learn those things." And she does when she just demonstrates the stone break, she breaks all of them. Like, oh my god, that is impressive.
yeah. James Earl Jones is like, all right.
Yeah, everybody
that's
was
chill.
like, holy shit.
Okay.
Holy shit. Weren't expecting that. But yeah, also, every time they show the Koreans, for the most part, there's very few scenes where they're talking to each other. It's usually just grunting. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But yeah, then we get like halfway through the movie, I literally was like, yes! When I heard the guitar come in and the fucking training montage starts, and then the words start coming in to go maximum 80s.
Yeah, we got a triple point score there. I mean, it's an 80s song during a training montage, and they sing the title of the movie.
Yes.
I mean, you can't get better than that.
I'm like, yeah, this is maximum like peak like 80s shit.
Yeah.
Which, if you guys aren't followers of the show, things that are very tropical and just kind of, especially, they're not necessarily trying to be. It's probably just a product of its time. But if it's something that resonates with me, where I'm like, oh, this is a 80s ass movie. This is a 2000s ass movie right here. I'm gonna enjoy whatever makes me feel like this is the times. And so that right there, like he said, 80, the montage, the fucking song with the lyrics and shit, and the song saying the title of the movie in the song.
Yeah.
It's just like, I'm like, yes, you're the best of the best. We also later have a 80s sad ballad bike ride.
Yeah.
Because Daehan, Tommy's opponent, killed his brother. I thought it was his dad when I first saw it. I'm not good at guessing people's relations to one another in this movie. I was like, he killed his dad? Holy shit. And then later he's like, he killed my brother. And he dropped like his ice cream. He was a kid. He remembers dropping his ice cream. And later, the sad ballad bike ride ends with him like going to a gas station and getting a triggering memory because a kid there drops his ice cream. Like,
But that kid still had his big brother to give him his ice cream. So everything's going to be okay. I'll fight the tournament.
That is put that together because he does. The big brother does give him the ice cream, but I was busy being like, "Oh my god, the fucking ice cream drop!" Of course, I was busy focusing on the fact that the kid dropped the ice cream, but yeah, the big brother coming in, and that's what convinces him. Yeah, I'll go to the tournament.
He like looks at all that play out, and then he smiles to himself. Then gets on his bike, turns the opposite direction, flies back to the airport as fast as he can.
And he wasn't the only person thinking about leaving the team, because Grady gets kicked off the team because his son gets hit by a car and ends up in a coma.
Yeah, I don't know what. I mean, this is just movie stakes, but like in this movie's universe, I don't know what coach's game plan is here. Like, there's just going to be some substitute that shows up a week before the competition, and they're going to be fine.
Yeah.
But I guess also you could say that we also know from scenes with James Earl Jones and the sponsor of Team USA that there's a lot of push from the financial end of Team USA that they're not really interested in Grady. They think he's old and his injury history. So maybe they've been telling a dude to stay ready.
Also true. Yeah, because I was wondering that too. I'm like, are you just bluffing? Because you're like, well, shit. I tried to keep him here, but yeah, we're like a week out. I can't.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do? No, he wanted that dude off the team because his kid got a Bible, and it reminded me. It's not the same, but it reminded me of us talking about Lil Saint and You Got Served, where it's the little kid who's here just to be a device for like conflict later in the movie when he gets injured off screen.
Yep.
So it's like, this is kind of like the Little Saint thing. It's different enough, but And it's a so.
Well, it's completely different because they kept him alive, and they brought him to the tournament.
Well, okay, I'll give you that. But in the moment when I typed the note,
Right.
I thought that because I'm like, okay, the kids at home, okay, he's gonna be fine though. And then they're like, gotta tell you, he's in a coma. We don't know when he'll wake up. And that's what I'm like. Oh my god, a coma? There's one thing when you talked about him hitting his leg, but he's in a fucking coma? But you're right, kid wakes up and he goes on, so it's not like little Saint who just stays dead and now let's
Like, we don't know how long this is going on, but they imply that I feel like they imply it's rather short.
Yeah, oh it is.
Like maybe Dad's there 2 days.
Yeah, he's there a very short amount of time, but because the doctor does go, it could be an hour, it could be 6
3
years,
months,
or 3
or
months. Yeah, it's like it's a long range. I understand it's a coma, and it's the 80s, so coma science is even less known.
Coma science.
Neurology, whatever. Bottom line is
No, it's going in the book with right next to tropical.
tropical. Yes, I do love tropical things. But yeah, so get the coma, but eventually everybody decides, let's get on the plane. We're going out there. We get our team intros, teams coming out with fucking fire and shit, and everything's cool.
I love those fucking drums. Those fucking drums get me going. I have a couple of playlists on Spotify that are those that are just like traditional Eastern Asian drums. I'll pull Korean drums, Japanese drums. But yeah, that just like those big ass drums and those heavy rhythms. Sometimes when I'm working and I really want something to just like push me forward, I'll throw those on. Gets me so fucking hype.
Well, they're very good for that, I will say. Especially when you get movies that do like those kind of
fucking
drums.
Ahmad Rashad.
Yeah, Ahmad Rashad. I was about to mention him, and I got distracted by the drums. But
Right.
yes, Ahmad Rashad's in there. But when you get into movies, speaking of the drums and how hype they are, just in general, when you get those movies where they know how hype it is, so you get like the slow mo shots of the.
Oh yeah.
It's like holy shit.
And not only are these ladies drumming, but like they're surrounded in drums.
Yeah.
And they have like a coordinated dance along with their drumming of like leans and spins and
Man, other cultures go so fucking hard.
yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
we put on a tank top and watch fireworks.
Now, we do have things that are American enough that other cultures also like. But sometimes, like, when you look at the quote-unquote more simple shit that other things do, obviously years of practice go into fucking all that drumming. But it goes so hard, like, just hits you on that. This is about movies, not about, like, the science of music, but...
No,
Just
yeah.
know the drums. But yes, Ahmad Rashad. Not Ahmad Rashad.
Ahmad Rashad. Or no.
Ahmad Akbar?
Oh my gosh.
What did you say before? You said Ahmad or...
Ahmad Rashad.
oh, it is
Yeah,
Ahmad
yeah.
Rashad.
You got me doubting myself.
I was doubting myself. I was like, no, that can't be the right thing. I'm thinking, like... So what else? But yeah, Ahmad Rashad was in the movie. I thought that was cool. When he said his name, I was like, wait, I know that name. I got it too. Cool. But to help again with like the legitimacy of what you're watching, at least in your head, like because if you're in that time, like, oh yeah, this must be big if they got Ahmad Rashad on it.
Yeah.
And the tournament happens, and while they were doing the intros, I was like, you know what'd be fun if I tried to predict the way this tournament turns out. So I'm gonna guess because this is a movie and USA is supposed to be the good guys. I'm gonna say USA wins this 3-2. The two losses being by Sonny and Virgil, Though I wouldn't be surprised, though, even though I'm going with that, I wouldn't be surprised if Travis loses 2 and Korea wins 3-2. Because I still didn't know it was by points. I thought it was just by match victories.
Mm-hmm.
And in the first match, fucking Sonny versus his opponent
Gets his ass kicked.
Sonny loses. And I'm like, I'm 1-for-1. Let's go.
Immediately starts the U.S. at a huge deficit point-wise, too.
Which I thought would be what happens. Because again, I watch it, while I haven't watched as many movies, I've watched enough movies to notice some patterns and tropical behavior. And so I'm like, we gotta lose some and gotta like have the whole underdog comeback when all is said and done. That's what I'm like, or at least we tie it up. So I'm like 2-2. If anybody loses on this team, it's Sonny and Virgil and maybe Travis. Though I can see Travis big manning it and like just be big American and I beat somebody else because you shouldn't underestimate the big guy type shit. And I almost had that because Virgil lost 2. And while it was sad to see the team losing, because, you know, USA got the flag over my shoulder, USA all the way. While it was sad seeing them lose, I was happy that I was so far 2 for 2 in who was going to lose on the team. And then Travis comes up and it goes to a tie. And they bring out the fucking bricks. And I'm like, God damn it. I was so close. He's going to lose to these goddamn brick break. I was so close to my prediction, and they're like, remember, it's points, not necessarily wins that you need. But yeah, sure enough, to be fair to Travis, he broke more bricks than I thought he would. Because he was always the one they cut to the least when training. Or not they cut to the least. They cut to him damn near the most. But he was training the least. They're doing
he would be sitting on his ass.
Because while he was the racist, you know, quote unquote lovable asshole, he was also the fat guy.
Yep.
They tried to make sure you do that. Oh, they're doing sit-ups. Travis can't keep up with everybody. Oh, they're running. He can kind of keep up with everybody, but still be big. Never understood that, but there are people that do that. Kudos to them. Honestly, that sounds like the winning formula. Eat what you want and be in shape. Perfect. So yeah, but he broke all but 3. And here comes the other guy deciding to use the secret ridge hand technique. I'm like, he's gonna break all of these damn things. It's the secret fucking technique and everything. Like the forbidden fucking ridge hand. This anime ass shit. He comes in, and sure enough, he doesn't break them all, but he breaks one more than Travis does, and it looks like he damn near broke all of them. And then the ref comes in counting, and Travis just says the same thing I'm thinking. Why are you bothering counting? Like, cause Travis is like, I can see I lost. I don't need.
What are you counting them for?
Yeah, what are you counting them for?
Make me feel bad.
But yeah, so I think technically he beat him by like 1 brick because the other like brick was whole but it slid off the first. Mm-hmm. So it was like 2 bricks left to 3 bricks left. But Travis loses, and now we get one of a few of the shots in this scene involving Grady's lines. There's like no background noise, and he's just looking at the camera. And I'm like, this ever so slightly oddly placed, just, I'm gonna kick his head off. Or so.
Yeah.
Or just talking
those are lines directly made for the trailer.
But yeah, he gets in there and it's like, well, he's gotta win his fight for America to have a fucking chance. Just based on plot, because now we've lost 3 fights, even though dude had fought him to a tie with points. And he's starts off with the upper hand. He's like, I don't care if I'm fucking old, let's go. Dude eventually starts fighting back, and then the inevitable Chekhov's gun, that bum shoulder. Dude comes down with like an axe kick on it, just Bob it in. No, you gotta stop. If I stop, we're done. Get him on
Right. Ahmad Rashad is giving us great exposition throughout all of these matches, reminding us what's important, what are the stories here. He's like, we're basically just hearing him. Like, for a lot of this, we're seeing it as if we're watching the televised.
Deja vu. I feel like it may not have been in the Bloodsport one, but it might have been in the Bloodsport one, where you mentioned the Ahmad Rashad narration for or exposition for a tournament in another movie. And you were probably talking about this and like how he provides the so. And I was like, because the way you talk about it, I was like, I've heard something like this.
That's funny. I mean, yeah, this is a touchstone movie for me. Yeah. But yeah, he's giving great, like, Alexander Grady from Detroit, Michigan. Got the shoulder issues, all that. And then while he's down there on the ground, he's like, "Now, folks, if Alex can't finish this fight, USA loses all of the points that he's managed to gain them in this round." Like, he's doing a great job. This is his first film. I assume he's already an announcer on some level at this point in 1989. I can't remember when he's doing, what was that weekend NBA show? You know what I'm talking about? No?
Nope. I was a late bloomer when it came
NBA
to
on NBC.
Oh.
It was like a Saturday daytime. Yeah.
That's all I remember for real is the song. Because that song is legendary. Kind of mad NBC can't do NBA anymore because we don't get to hear the song. It's like if Fox ever loses the right to football, I'm going to be sad. Oh.
But yeah, that didn't happen. That didn't start happening until 1995. So.
Yeah. I would still be shit. That's damn near. Well, it's more than 20 years now. It's damn near 30 years.
I'm just trying to think of where this is in the career of Ahmad Rashad.
Oh, you're talking about Ahmad Rashad on NBA on NBC, not Fox doing this football song. Okay.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sorry. But yeah, he's doing a great job through this, and that moment is one of the big moments of the film. He's gonna Tommy pushes the coaches away, hops his shoulder, whatever that means.
Also, I don't think it was Daehan that did the Superman punch. It was Sejun Kwan that punched Grady with it. Because he like cartwheels over his shit and then he just does the Superman punch to the face.
Oh, I'm thinking of in the video package.
Oh, okay.
I think
you would still be right because I don't remember the exact.
And I might be wrong. I might have just been talking out of my ass. But I think he like shatters some bricks with a Superman punch.
Then then you're right, Daehan. But I had put in my notes and standout moments just that because that was like one of the sickest things I saw in the movie. The way he like flipped over the thing and then just, I was like, holy shit. And then Grady makes his comeback. He has to last 30 more seconds and he doesn't even just win by like time over. He knocks the guy out of the fucking ring. With his arm like taped up, like, let's go. One-handed, he still won't go down.
He ends up gaining points, actually.
Yeah, he gains points and kicks him out the ring. Like he decisively wins. Not I just gotta last 30 more seconds. Like, nah, I'm gonna kick this motherfucker's head off. And so he kicks him out the ring, and then we get the epic music as the climax fight comes. Tommy versus Daehan. And that fight goes, and at first it looks like they're like, don't hold back, Tommy. And then Tommy just starts going off. He hits him with the fucking 3-piece to the legs and the hand, where it's like leg, head. Ow! He does
right.
That,
we skipped over the fact that Tommy has already put his teammate unconscious because he can go to a flashback zone of his brother's death that gives him superpowers. I think is what we're being told it shatters all their measuring devices, and it.
Oh yeah, because he was holding. That's right. The through line through the movie was with Tommy was he kept.
He's always holding back.
He was so adverse to fighting being used to harm people due to his brother being killed in that fight. And when they were doing the fucking strength tester, yeah, Virgil holding the thing, and it's like, kick it. Why are you holding back? Stop doing it. Kick the damn pad. So he kicks the shit out of it, knocks Virgil unconscious, breaks the damn sensor, like you said, because of the fucking flashback superpowers. Tapping into his anime rage. And fucking... yeah, and so he goes to that zone in this fight and starts beating the shit out of Daehan. And we get to the point he's about to win. And Daehan kind of stands up. Finish him. Like, all that's left is the fatality. Oh. Real quick. Because I was looking up to make sure I know what I was talking about. But Grady had a thing between rounds where he had his hands up almost like a fucking Muay Thai stance. Like, that was going to be his stance. And then in a normal fight, he drops to this. I was just like, it's weird that that's his pre-round ritual of just... let's go.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he gets ready, finish him, and then James Earl Jones, who's told this man not to hold back for the entire movie, goes, no.
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 And Grady's like,
Tommy.
Grady's like,
no.
He's like, he's gonna kill him. He's gonna
Like
kill him.
reverberates James Earl Jones's voice. It's so fucking that. No. Like it's just fucking. Oh, there's so much power in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's gonna kill him.
And in the moment, I was like, oh, I don't like this. Not only are you denying conventions, but you guys are gonna fucking lose. Like, no.
I wanted to write down on a piece of paper, and I forgot about it. But I thought I had this thought while I was watching the movie. I was like, all right, before the recording, write down on a piece of paper. Omari will love this movie, but hate the ending.
I was like, oh, I literally typed, oh, I hate that. They denied him not only his vengeance, but they denied victory for the team itself. Like, it's one
the team didn't deserve to win.
This nigga Grady went out there taping his arm.
Grady deserved to win. Tommy deserved to win. The other three didn't deserve shit.
Yeah, but, you know, they're on the team. As much as I love Udonis Haslem, you know, if the Heat win this year, I don't know if Haslem played any minutes, but he's getting a ring. So, you know, the other guys contribute. They put some point, because it's points and not rounds won. Travis, I'd say Travis put in enough work, because he put a lot of points on the board tying that other dude.
Well, he still lost by 1, so technically his match could have also just been 1-0.
Fair. I don't know how that whole thing goes, so you're right.
Well, no, just because of points.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know how the points work, so you very
well.
Like,
if they were in an extreme deficit before he got on there, and all he did was tie and then lose by 1.
Still at a deficit.
That deficit didn't grow. In fact, that deficit grew by 1. It didn't shrink at all.
It didn't grow by like 20.
It didn't increase extra. Right, yeah.
Like he kept it.
He was the first. Yeah, he was the first person at the wall
he did
to start to hold it back.
He did what he needed to do to kind of stop the bleeding.
Yes, exactly.
He made the comeback possible, because if he would have lost like the first 2, no amount of one-arm heroics or, you know, mercy is going to do something. And then afterwards, you know, they're getting the awards.
No, I'm right there with you. I'm screaming at the end of there for Tommy to just gently give him a front kick to the chest that knocks him backward. Down. But like the psyche of the man in the moment we're supposed to accept is I can either kill him or be frozen to this ground.
Yeah.
Make your choice.
And I get that. I'm just saying, shoe on the other foot, and we've lived through the exact same thing, and I've lived his life,
Yeah.
but I have some of my own personality in there. I'm probably swinging that foot. This man killed my brother. I don't pity him. He killed my brother and got away with it. Because he's still walking around trying to kill other people. And shoe on the other foot, in this case, he's killing me. Just like he killed my brother. So, nah, life or death. That's what I would, However, they went, Team Korea wins, and Daehan walks over to him. To spare a life in defeat is to achieve victory with it. And he gives him the badge, and he's like, I hope, fucking God, I hope you will look at me as your brother. Which, with them being brothers.
Yeah.
In real life, it's just like, okay, this makes a lot more sense now. Because at first I was like, I guess I don't know about the dude killing my brother. Like,
I mean, as an ignorant American, before I knew that they were really brothers, I just attributed that as an Eastern cultural thing that I don't know, of just like, I took your brother's life, even inadvertently.
Yeah.
I now submit myself as your brother, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, I now have to be your brother.
I took it, and until you told me the brothers thing, that's kind of how I took it. Like, oh, that's just that honorable Asian culture. I can't be mad at them for being a more honorable culture than us over here. But I could be. So I was like, I guess that's you're doing this, they're doing this, and the other dude that Grady beat gives him a better. I know you. Now I would like to know more about you. And I'm like, I guess, but I don't want your pity medals. I want to fucking win. We had a chance to be like legit medals. You know what I mean? Like so that's why I was like. It didn't ruin the movie for me or nothing, but because like Bill said, there are plenty of movies out there that I like the movie but don't like the ending, and that's just how it is. And I'm very much blatant when I say that. I'm like, hey, I don't like the ending to this movie, but I don't like the ending to a lot of movies. A lot of things I don't like the way they end, so I just let it happen. So. And it's still, like I said, I like at least, despite it being quote-unquote pity medals, I do like them giving them the medals, like, all right, we know what the rules say, but look at me. And look at you.
You kicked my ass.
I cannot go to sleep at night knowing, and look at this medal on the wall and be like, that's fine. I beat it.
Yeah, Tommy and Grady definitely deserve it, and I love that. I was walking around at the end of it, grabbing something like a drink or something, but I meant to look for it to clock it. I don't think that the other guys give them their medals, like the ones that actually won their matches keep their medals, right? Yeah, that's what I thought.
The only two
good.
that get medals.
That's good.
I agree. That's all, and I'm okay with it being like that. I'm like, well, at least the two who clearly won their matches get the medals from those people. Like, I was more okay with what they were doing when dude went up and gave Grady a medal too, because I'm like, okay, y'all got this weird thing going on, but with the whole, I killed your brother, I'll be your new brother, accept me. Okay, other cultural things I don't understand, I'm still kind of frustrated. And then dude walks over like, okay, if he's giving up his medal, I can't give him mine. I can't keep mine. I'm not going to be the only member of this team who lost his fight and held on to the medal. You know what I mean? Because then you really look like a douchebag. At least the other three, they're like, shouldn't have to give him.
I won. I was celebrating hard just a minute ago. Yeah. I'm good.
Yeah. The others are like, yeah. So, and that again, the fact that they would give those medals back, I do think is more of a cultural difference as well, where they're like, hey, we know who true person of honor is.
Yeah.
Is that
If Tommy did front kick Dehan in the face, I don't know if Virgil, Sonny, and a racist dude are giving their medals away.
They are not. They are not. They are like, woo, USA,
Yeah.
USA, USA. One of the most,
I helped. I definitely helped.
one of the most infectious chants, like in the appropriate area, that just is guaranteed to grow into something if timed right, is the fucking USA.
Yeah.
Despite the fact we don't win a lot of things, we will cheer very fucking hard. And I say this as someone who's goes to a lot of fighting game tournaments where I have sat through a lot of top eights where there's the last American playing and he looks like he has a shot at coming back, and then someone starts up that USA in the crowd. USA! USA! Now it started to get quieter as more people are like, guys, the people on stage, this is rude. Which, I hear you, it is kind of rude. At the same time, I saw what happened when some USA players went to Brazil, and what we do is tame based on what they were doing that tournament. And I'm like, okay, why are we cool with every other country having pride in who they are except for us? Nah, they came to USA soil. It's called home court advantage because the crowd is loud. It's called that in real sports. It can be called that in esports, quote unquote. So, I'm sorry, USA chant is home court advantage. I'm chanting USA. USA! That doesn't mean I hate the other country the other guy's from. The second the last USA guy is out of the tournament, I'm like, alright, let's go Tokido. But if it's Evo, which we hadn't won anything in Street Fighter V, or in Street Fighter we have not won Evo, if it's a USA person in there, I'm rooting for us to finally break that wall and be the first American to break that wins Evo.
Right.
That's not xenophobia. But anyway, bottom line is USA. So yeah, if they lost, because of the way we band together when it comes to facing, when it comes to like team things, if we can all agree we're on the same team, we are strong. In sports
A
and
team
out.
isn't a team unless you give a damn about one another.
In sports and without. Bottom line is, that was the movie. Final thoughts, I guess?
Yeah,
this else you want to bring up?
No, this is a mild to moderate C of a movie that is a giant touch point in my childhood, and if James Earl Jones isn't in it, it may be on the level of unwatchable. But he elevates everything else around it and makes the scenes that he's not in okay. Like you got James Earl Jones scenes, you got fighting scenes, and then you got the other scenes. And the other scenes is a mixed bag. Like you got good, and then the last one is going to be a mixed bag. Like I said, I think there's an element of this that may have embedded onto my DNA of just these big men cry kind of thing. And like Eric Roberts is a very emotional character in this movie. Tommy talks about like him and Tommy having a very emotional moment. Their friendship, they seem to like really genuinely care for each other. It's really sweet stuff. I really enjoy that. That's kind of something that I touched on in this adult viewing. But yeah, that's what I got for you.
Yeah, as you mentioned, the big men who cry. I think that was that was like secretly a big thing in the 80s. Because obviously we think men in the 80s, action star, toxic masculinity. Well, no air quote, toxic masculinity, and all of that. But there's a lot of things in the 80s that involve that kind of thing. Like Fist of the North Star, which we covered a movie from. That's a lot of that whole manly, real manly tears, but they're
Yeah.
tears flowing from the face, and like that's considered, even in the series, a good trope or a good feature to have, is being able to show your fucking emotions. So I do think they were trying to like slip that into like, hey, here's that stinky leg, but just remember, they can cry too. It's okay. It's okay. So that is interesting that you point that out. And yeah, when I saw them talk about Taekwondo, I was like, oh, it's a Taekwondo movie. Bill was in Taekwondo.
Yeah.
So that was cool. I mean, it's an 80s ass movie. I enjoyed it. Like you said, there's only so low it could have been rated coming in, unless, let's say, James Earl Jones was not in this movie. Because I agree with you on that. And the movie is, because I don't feel like calculating, it's half the movie it is without James Earl Jones, and half the movie it is does not end up as a good movie, or a good watch rather. And yeah, it's a good watch. I recommend anybody to watch it. It's a fun time, especially if you're into those tropical 80s movies. You got it.
Yep.
So yeah, that's best of the best. Is it the best of the best movies? No, but it is a great one, or a good one. It's a good one. It's a fun one. Yeah. So that's that. Next week, I will make a suggestion. 47 Ronin. Let's do it.
47 Ronin.
Yep. Yeah, 47 Ronin. It's about
47 Ronin.
47 Ronin. That's all I'm going to say. And that'll be what we watch next week. If you want to see other videos of ours, they're on the channel. A couple playlists, season 1 and 2. You can also find me elsewhere on YouTube on the Whatever We Want podcast with new episodes every week, every Wednesday. I do it with a good friend of mine named Super Jazz.
Super Jazz.
Thank you very much. As nature intended, as he would say. Yeah, we talk about just that, whatever we want. You can go ahead and check it out. You can also find me on YouTube. I just said that. Twitter and Twitch at Giotavi. That is Giotavi. Come
on in. Stop on by.
Thank you very much. Bill, you got anything you want to say to the folks? All right.
Protect your neck.
Yeah, all right. You guys, thank you very much. We'll see you next week. Adios.